with tonight's interview. Sorry, the mic was off. Regardless, there, apologies, the mic was off. But I'm looking forward to seeing what we will have with Gold tonight. Gold is a valued member of this league. It's been around the block. We did an interview with Gold a long time ago. And when I mean a long time ago, I'm talking way, way back on the track. So we're looking forward to seeing what Gold will have in store tonight. Appreciate Gold making this time. This is interview scheduled for Sunday. Unfortunately, this interview was postponed to today. We had some issues on Sunday. But without further ado, we always get into the stage here. I want to introduce both Ard and Gold. Before we get to Gold, it's Ard's show. Ard, what are we expecting tonight, buddy? As always, a preview.
That interview with Gold, but I think this time he's had a few experiences now with the league, and as it shows by the title of this, it's about a golden comeback. Gold has made a comeback here like no other, and he's back in a position he knows very well, even after some time of hard troubles. It's going to be a good interview, though.
All right. Well, without further ado, as usual, Gold, feel free to introduce yourself and let the fans know who you are. Go ahead.
Howdy, howdy. I'm VeriGold, aka Gold, aka 24K Gold. I was the T3 2023 winner and Super League second place that year, and I have not been back in Super League until this moment. It took 2 top 4s in a row to make it here, but hey, good to be back.
That's what it is. This league is an absolute grind. It's hard to believe. Let's go back to that moment. This interview a little bit different than the first time we did. The first time we did it was more a mixture of just gets to know. This one's going to be more hard hitting. What was it like when you first joined this league? The 33rd player in, no one knew what you were doing here. No one knew who you were, and then you win a tournament playing huge names. Obviously, Eli, Arya, TJ Smith. Thoughts on those big names you beat back then, where the league has come from then to
now? Coming in last seed. Well, that's not last seed, last player. I'm surprised I wasn't last seed, considering I was coming on such short notice. It was kind of crazy. I wasn't expecting to make it out of that first round. Once I did that, I was expecting to lose against Arya, then against TJ, and then all of a sudden I've beaten San for the finals. It was definitely surprising, because I was coming in to the league to win. I was coming in to play Uno and to have a good time, and all of a sudden it turned out, oh, I'm actually really good at this. Since then, leagues changed a lot. You've got the bot changed. You don't have TJ Smith anymore. Shame, I enjoyed my rivalry with him. Funny that he could beat me even with multiple accounts. We got the new bot. We got 64 players as well. It's the new Super League as well, with not just, 10 players. We're the top 2 in each group advance. Now we've got 16? With 6 already locked in and top 3 from each advancing. If I remember, is it 16 or is it 15?
16 D1 player. Last year we had 15 D1 plus a D2 champ. D2 champ is no longer allowed in. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, and D2 wasn't a thing at the time. And then now it's its own separate league that has flourished. So much has changed. The competition has grown so much, and the skill gap has decreased a lot. There is no safe matches nowadays. I think it would be foolish to assume there's a safe match nowadays. Anything can happen.
It's insane to think about the competition. We've talked about it with everybody here, and of course everybody that's been interviewed as Monkey Boy joins us. Ironic because you'll be playing Monkey in a little bit this upcoming week 3. The competition has been incredible. We went from nobody to 29 people have a medal, 43 people have 100 starts, handing that out like candy. 12 people have 100 plus wins. You name it, we've got it. Thoughts on the competition, just in general, from where we were at the start of 23 to now the end of 25?
Compared to back then, it's definitely gotten a lot healthier. That's for sure. Not you don't have one player dominating the league to the same degree as back in TJ Smith's heyday with all of his alternate accounts. Can't believe he was allowed to get away with that, but or at least I can't believe he got away with that for as long as he did. It's gotten a lot healthier. That's been correct. Now we've got more members on staff to help moderate games, stream games. That was really a thing back then. It has changed. It's crazy how much it's changed.
Yeah, it is unreal. Obviously, we condemn those actions by TJ. It was wrong, and at least we caught it in the off season before this league really blew up. I'll go to Ard here. Ard, it's crazy, man. We joke about it all the time, but there's no safe game anymore. There might be one or two stragglers at the back, but heck, when Jesse Turner goes from Super League runner-up to 0 wins in the next season, anything can happen. I'm going to talk about Gold's little slump in 24, but your thoughts are just where we've come as well. 1,000 hours of Uno just crossed. That's insane. For at least for D1, it's a lot of Uno.
That's a lot of Uno, but and Gold's kind of right here. Going back from that back then, where there wasn't that much, and basically one person was winning, to now having multiple tournament winners, multiple people doing very well, and the amount of people that gotten 100+ starts, it just this league has become the place to be as far as Uno competition is.
Yeah, we went from the Big Four era of Sanford, Aria, KT of the world. Sanford, Aria, KT, TJ. Throwing in the Gangster on Jack, Gold as well, Yepez, Lamas. To now, it's TJ is no longer here. Aria just came back after issues. KT is KT. Sanford is Sanford. There's still Lamas, Peter. Notice they've been doing a really good job to hang around in the mid pack for really their careers and upper mid. And then Yepez, of course, the 23 champion, really consistent. Sure hasn't got back, but that was the original class. Now it's the likes of who is gone, who is back, who are these people, right? And these people came from D2 ranks. Then you got, of course, the OGs, Monkey, Vapor, even Mac and Acosta, right? Where do they come from? They've been here for a long time, but they finally make a stride push this year. I'll go to that last season. Last season was tough. It was not easy. You went from top of the world in Super League, right? Sure, you got a runner-up, a silver medal. Everything was going right. Then a 2-win season. Sure, you had some clutch moments maybe just to get a win, but it wasn't the season like 23 or this year. Talk to me how you got through that season mentally.
That season, well, the season lined up with a really rough year of college for me, so it ended up mostly going on the back burner. I think it might have been the only way I managed to survive mentally was because I had to just put it out of my mind in order to survive in college. Now that I've gotten through that, I can look back at that and say, yeah, it was a rough time, but like, I think it honestly was for the best that I didn't have another stellar season, because I think had I combined that with what was going on for me personally, like in my personal life, I don't know if I would have been able to handle it. I think one of them would have to given way.
Yeah, that's actually going to be one of our questions. Ironically, you have Ard's one of his pre-questions here he's going to ask real shortly, but I do want to follow up with that. When you were going through those personal issues, right, it was obviously a stressful time. I can hear in your voice, just not connecting maybe on certain elements. Where did you find your soul and yourself to push through? Was there any instant message maybe, or any message you held close to your chest knowing, hey, this is rough, but there are rougher things out there? Go ahead.
I don't think there was specifically any message that I held on to, but it was more so just finding support in my community, from friends, from therapy from just my peers in the little niche I call home here on campus. Had it not been for that, had it not been for having all these people I could rely on, I would be in a lot rougher a state.
That's sometimes what you need. You need a community. You need a tribe. Everyone's got a tribe. Question is how you discover that tribe can lead to results. All right, I'll go over to Ard because that almost tied into the question you wanted to ask. Go ahead, Ard.
Yeah, it really does. And here's the thing, Gold. I want to ask, how did you balance college life versus home life when you first moved away?
College life versus home life. Admittedly, at the very start, very poorly. College took significantly more of my mind than my home life did. I Not that I wasn't in contact with my parents, but they were kind of in the back of my mind because I was just busy with everything else. They would still message me and I'd message back, they'd call me, I'd talk to them, but I it was not well managed. Now that I've gotten more time, I've actually gotten the chance to get my feet under me and I can actually, you know, I still don't necessarily always like go out and call my parents because like I am still busy, but like I keep in touch a lot more regularly.
What was the hardest part of maybe freshman year to kind of sum up that? Was there a moment where you had freshman year where you said, you know what, maybe there needs to be a change in your routine? Was there any routine, maybe a special thing you did to get through the emotional swings?
Freshman year and also to a large extent sophomore year, I just kind of powered through it, which was very unhealthy and did come back to bite me in the ass. Sorry, but
Nah, you're good. Whatever you got to say, you're good.
like sophomore year, not sophomore year, it's junior year. That that was the point where it was just too much. I had what 18 credit hours, which that was too much work. I was consistently sleeping way too little. I was consistently neglecting like my own health, my relationships with people, save for the ones I kind of had to have with my roommates. Like aside from that, I pretty much disappeared off the face of the earth, at least on campus, because it was just that much work and it was that taxing. And eventually, at one point, I just broke, got help, reached out to someone I trusted, asked, do I just drop a class, reduce the workload, and allow myself the time to rest and recover? And they said yes, and I am much better off for it.
Now, obviously, you said something very. Ard, myself, we don't know too much about how credits. Well, we know credits because a lot of these interviews people go to college. But what was your schedule like through sixth? Was it 3 classes a day and then you had an off day? Was it 2-2-2? Was it 1-4-1-2? What was it like? What was the schedule like on a Monday through? I know a lot of schools or a lot of students, from what I understand, don't pick. So I go to these speaking. They don't pick Fridays classes. They like to stick to Monday, Thursday, or sometimes they'll do Tuesday through Friday. They like to do 4-day weeks. I noticed. Is that true with your schedule, or what was the schedule like, and what's the current? Are you a senior, by the way? Did you
Yeah, I'm a senior. I'm
That's
gonna need an
ugly.
extra semester because of the whole I had to drop classes, but
Right.
I'm getting an extra minor out of it. I'm making the best of the extra semester.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, my fault. Answer that. My bad.
You're good. I'm going back to check my. This isn't accurate because this has all. This is after I dropped thing. Um, I think it was something along the lines of 3 classes a day. It was a good bit. Let me pull up I should have a photo of it saved. Where are you? That was from different semester. Oh, okay. Not seeing it. Which? Oh, no. Is this the one? No, it's not. I'm not seeing it, but I'm pretty sure it was something along the line. Oh, actually, yeah. Here it is. 3 on Mondays, 4 on Wednesdays and Fridays. 2 on Thursdays, and Tuesday was the only kind of off day I had. But it was not enough to make up for everything.
Yeah, that could. Now, the schedule currently, is it a lot more relaxed, or is it more you wanted it to change it up because you had that? You know, you're going to be. So you'll be back here next September then, because of the extra semester. Is that how I read that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be a December 26th graduation. This year, a lot healthier. At the very least, I have breaks between my classes. That was something I did. I did not have breaks between classes. It would go to class. I had to book it across campus, just to have to book it back. But now, it's still kind of 3 per day. But now I've got 1 or multi-hour long breaks between my classes, and the classes themselves are shorter and less intensive, I'd say.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes with anything you do, whether it be classes or doing a task, you have to figure out a balance and a balancing act. So I'm glad you were able to find a balancing act. Ironically, Ard's got a question about something like that. We'll go to Ard here on this next one. You're kind of, what's the word? Segueing into these next foreshadowing questions. It's kind of funny. Ard, go ahead. It's crazy.
That is crazy. Gold, I want to ask, do you use any time management skills differently now than you did back then?
Uh, to a degree, it's not like any formal time management skills, but I've gotten much better at taking note of. Actually, no, there is one thing. I didn't really do it until much too late that semester, but I've actually got a full semester-long calendar planned out and everything. Completely forgot I did that, but back then I was just like every day just check to see, is there anything due? Is there anything to do? Is there anything due? Anything update? Anything changed? Whereas now I can just look and say, okay, well, I've got this thing due tonight, this thing due whenever, and I am allowed to, or I guess I'm able to more effectively prepare for it. Also, I actually like started like planning out several days in advance instead of just like taking each day as they come. It's just like, okay, if I do that, I'm gonna all of a sudden be up against an exam, and it's like, ooh, how about I instead figure out a few days in advance just like everything I need to do and do it in a more, probably more time effective, I'd say, and also healthier manner. Plus, it allows me to get it ingrained in my brain when I revisit topics like it over and over again.
Well, that's the thing with any sort of routine, any sort of time management. There's a balance. And when you can find that balance between classes, health, friends, community, all that into one package, you'll get the most out of it. Now, you mentioned lack of sleep, you mentioned lack of maybe neglecting your health. What were some changes you made in the health and lifestyle to make you succeed on the table and the classroom as well?
Well, on the sleep front, keeping consistent sleep schedules always been pretty hard for me. But at the very least, I have started to accept that I need some sleep to function. Back in like freshman, sophomore year, I think I averaged like 1 all-nighter a week, which is not healthy. It is not. You cannot keep that up. Uh, and then the worst bit was like a 5-ish day span, I think, where every day I pulled an all-nighter and all I got was a few hours nap in the early afternoon, and then back through it again. So spending like 18 to 20 hours up a day, including all night.
Yeah, it is. That's tough, Art. I'll bring you in, man. I always joke with you. You always ask me, man, how do you have all this energy? You got a lot going on yourself, but we always have Colin. Okay, you always got 9, 10 hours of sleep, and it really is the key to any success. You got to start. You got to start your day right, but you got to almost prepare your nights even better than your days. What's your thoughts on Gold having to burn a midnight owl or midnight oil, and sometimes being a night owl through college as well? It's definitely tempting for sure.
Oh, that is definitely just that is like trying to do that with like schoolwork. I can throw in live examples that I had to do schoolwork and I was basically trying to get stuff done and it was just a nightmare to even try to do that and pull out all nighters and stuff. It's just I couldn't imagine anybody really trying to do something like that.
God bless you. More power to you, but hopefully you can get those Z's goal at the end of the day and find a schedule. It's not. I understand. It's not easy for anybody to have a constant sleep. We've had a lot of people on this show. We've had a lot of people, talk about that's one of the hardest things is the sleep and getting the right success there. But I want to shift gears a little bit from the sleeping and all the health stuff to some of the stuff you do. What are some clubs you've joined that maybe helped ease the pains or the stresses you have through schoolwork and every day?
Okay. So the thing that's done the most for keeping me sane has been being a part of one of the choirs here on campus. I've been in choir for pretty much my whole life. This is 16 years straight of being in a school choir, plus just various other choirs. I remember I was part of a church choir for a time. So it's something I'm familiar with. It's something that helps to relieve stress. And I'm at a point where I can learn the material without actually having to spend any extra time out of my day to study it. I just learn from everything I need from what we do in class, because it is technically a class, but it's been the best for keeping me sane. There's a few other orgs. I think the main ones have been a few of the, well, actually, one org specifically on here on my campus that I'm actually an exec of. It's a org for queer students, because I myself am queer. I it is it's been nice having people I can interact who go through the same struggles with me. That's really where I've carved out my niche, has been with the people in that org. Just having those people I can interact with who understand my struggles and can offer solutions that are more specific to me than just what you might get for a generalized solution. It's just been really nice.
Was there anybody maybe in that community, or anybody, an advisor or a counselor or whatever, whoever you've met in college, that you've almost looked up to them as I don't want to say a figure, more of a mentor per se?
Um, it's not that I'd say that I looked up to as a mentor, but as role models, definitely. There's a couple people we can think of who they're just that they have been able to overcome their struggles, because a lot of them struggling with mental health, uh, the heavy class loads, because some of these people are graduate students. I do look up to them in a sense.
Yeah, that's an interesting aspect. I didn't even think about that, man. Having kid, well, I do think about that because we both watch college sports, and I've noticed a lot of people are in college now, 25, 26 years old still. I'm thinking to myself, well, why would they still be here? But with a lot of eligibility and people not taking college as Gold said, what's the limit? 7 classes per semester, I'm guessing? Would that be the limit? 6? I
Well,
don't even.
technically, there's not. At least I don't think there's a specific limit, but it's just at a certain point because there's. I don't know exactly how to like phrase this, but like there's a from 12 credit hours to 18 credit hours. It's like a set fee, and then any credit hour under or any credit hour over, it kind of scales a bit. So like
Okay.
after a certain point, it just gets more and more expensive to take college classes. So there's only so much you can do in one semester.
Okay. So that explains why a lot of people may still be in year 5.5 or year 6. It makes sense because they're taking it more of a slower approach or taking just 4 or 5 at most classes. Okay. So yeah, that's what we're learning, right? Or at the end of the day, we're learning. We don't know this system, and we're just still learning. We're still figuring things out at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's really true. Because some things we don't know about certain things, then others do. That's what's so fun about this.
That's what the whole we learn something new every day, uh, and we make things a little bit more respectable in turn. Regardless, though, you did mention choir. You mentioned using your voice as an voice. I think I've always told that to you. Voice as an instrument is powerful. Thoughts on the I don't know, just thoughts on just the start of where you got into singing and the musical taste. Was it from a young kid, any experience? And what was the experience like when you were first joined choir as a young goal to now?
Um, well, I first really started all the way back in kindergarten, really. Like at that point in time, it was just kind of a requirement just to have I guess technically fine arts. That is where that would fall under. Even though of course we're just kids, but like just something musical we could do. And then while it wasn't like required as you continued going through, it was still like for middle school, it was still like, okay, you don't have to do this, but hey, it helps if you do. Or not even that it helps, but it's a great way to express yourself, and I just kind of stuck with it until it went from being mandatory to optional to something for like it was like in my last year of college, high school. I was in like the what do they call it? Was it specifically? I don't remember exactly what they call it, but it was like the choir for like the like students who like really cared about they really like showed their skill in it. So I developed bit by bit as I was in it and got better and better and never let the passion die for it.
Well, that's the thing. We always talk about passion in anything, Art, and it starts with the passion. At the end of the day, anything you do, whether it's music or being a teacher or whatever, it's all about the passion. You have time for anything, but the passion always comes first. And for that, I'll go to Art for the next question.
All right, Gold. Uh, have you ever used a different approach for the game of Uno?
Oh, absolutely. I've tried several different things from like card starts where I'd go high, go low, just those middling card starts. It definitely helped me because I now am pretty proficient at just all ends of the card start spectrum. Of course, I was well known for my saving ammo for long runs, but I've done some experimenting with more liberal uses with my ammo. I've worked with single color strategies to light switching fairly frequently, even if it might not necessarily be optimal, more so to throw the opponent off than anything. Recently, I've been trying to work with how to optimize fades and the like, just throw opponents off if I can help it. It's been a lot.
And we all know Gold with the magical 24K style, go to those huge runs to the finish, but what huge runs everyone could do a 7-8 bagger nowadays. That's the problem. Everyone's so good in this league where the 7-8 bagger is almost just neutralized. Talk to me about those practice sessions late at night. I know you always practice a lot in the practice rooms. I know a lot with Vapor, Cody Smart, ironically, he was here tonight, Leah. Thoughts on those practice sessions and how MGR Land's helped too, because that's been a big proponent. We didn't even have MGR Land 2 years ago or last year. That definitely helped for sure.
Oh, absolutely. At least with MGR Land. MGR Land was where I first really got the ball kind of rolling again for this season, because I had just been through the rougher semester and was starting to get that energy back that I could actually put into Uno instead of just having to direct it on to my studies. As for the practice sessions, it's been great, partially because for seeing how players have developed while I've been busy with college, but also for just experimenting with new things. I I know in practice games I take a lot more risks than I would otherwise not, and that has influenced a bit my playstyle in actual matches where it's I will take some risks even if it might not be optimal. Also, sometimes it's let you know just where your luck is at the moment, and a little concerning that I 8-0'd Leah a couple nights ago. That got me worried.
Yeah, it's the one thing about practice or any event hosting or any type of events you play in Grimland. You don't have to worry about the result, but what you can worry about is taking a risk, and that's the beauty with practice or any sessions you really that are off sanction of the league. If you want to take a gamble and do a fake wild play, who cares, right? It's practice. You want to throw +4s early when you got a dang good hand and they're up a lot, go for it. There's no risk versus reward in practice. It's all about just going out there, being a kid, and going for. Now, what were some of your craziest practice moves this year that you can remember offhand?
I feel I guess the craziest ones are those where it's okay, this is objectively a stupid idea. I'm going to play all of my +2s at the start because I'm starting on the starting card is a +2. Just gonna do everything and then just see what kind of ammo that gives my opponent and then just deal with that. So that's always the most fun, is just giving the opponent a bunch of ammo and just seeing how I seeing how I can hold up against that.
Yeah, that's always Vapor Jewel. That's always good to try something with ammo. I think that's the one thing about practice. It's ammo control, but it's also, as you said, it's ammo freedom. You can just do whatever you want, and if it doesn't work, it's just a memory, it's just a learning experience, and you bank on whatever. Now, obviously, we had a really interesting thing last year. I want to bring this back because last year we had the old solar eclipse, which was this was called like it is, a once-in-a-lifetime moment, and you were in the epicenter of that. Not a lot of people were in the epicenter. What was that day like? Because a lot of people forget that was one of the most beautiful moments we've seen in the world in a long time.
It was That was a great day. I remember I was spending it with friends. So, unluckily, I had started that day off sick, but I was feeling well enough by the time it actually started that I was able to go out and spend time with my friends and just look up, and it's incredible every time. I actually was lucky enough to see the one in, what was it, 2016, with some family members. Uh, it it is incredible every time. It is there. I don't even know how to put it into words. It's just incredible. It really is a see it to believe it type experience.
Yeah, that day, or I'll bring you in. Where were you on that day, Art?
I was at work.
Okay, so you had no recollection. Remember all yesterday?
No. I was able to see the eclipse.
Were you on top of the roof?
I was on top of the roof
I
of
remember
the place I worked at,
rooftop view.
and
Yeah,
and got to look up and just see that. It was awesome.
yeah. I remember outside my crib, saw it, and I took a video. It was faint because the clouds came over a little bit later, 5-10 minutes later. But I saw a 5-minute, 10-minute video. Still got it. It was. You had to be there, right? And celestial events are not easy to come by. A couple of people will always say, "Well, celestial events are, oh, they happen so often." Not anymore. Not anymore. At the end of the day, when you have something such as a lunar eclipse is more common, believe it or not, but it's nighttime. But the solar eclipses are rare, especially when you get a full totality. Partials, whatever, but full totality, rare. You'll see the temperature drop. I'm sure Gold experienced that. Probably doesn't help when you're a little sick too. But the temperature drops. You're looking at maybe 25 degrees cooler. So let's say it's 65, it's actually 40. Got to bring a jacket. Or if it's 90, it's 65. That's refreshing. But just for those couple minutes when you have just full totality and full darkness, you clear your head, you think about the past, you think about the present, and what's ahead in the future. And it is a mind reliever. Now, Gold, what was another thing too? Did you take videos? Did you have anything planned on that? Was it a good old Polaroid moment? Bring out a big professional. What was the picture taking process like with your buddies?
I didn't really actually take a lot of pictures. I took pictures with friends, but of the event, like at that point, I just preferred to experience it for myself and not through my phone.
Yeah, no, that's fair, and all right, that's important. It's always important to experience life through the best camera God ever created, your two eyes, right? And that's the beauty of life. Cameras are great, but there's a reason why we have two eyes and two ears. We're supposed to be listening and taking it in. We only have one mouth for a reason, because we're only supposed to talk when needed, for sure.
Yeah, that is definitely true, and that's what when you get to see something like that, that is so true that you just want to take it in with and see it with your own eyes.
Go ahead, Arthur. Our next question out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go into the next question here, and Golda, if you were able to go back in time, what would you want to say to your younger self?
Hmm. There's a lot of things. I guess it depends on when I go back in time too. Um, I feel like what I'd want to do most is to go back to high school me probably, and push high school me. Not, I don't know exactly what I'd say, but I definitely push high school me to spend more time with the people I cared about, to be more out there. I think I would have gotten a lot out of that. Well, I know I would have gotten a lot of that.
When you say push yourself out there, did you mean in a club? Did you mean just as a person with social development? Well, explain a little bit about that.
Mm, Back in high school, especially, I really was kind of a bit. I really was just a kind of a shut in. I spent most of my time like I would interact with people like in classes for clubs, but other than that, I would just go home, do my work, occasionally call with some friends, but like I really did kind of shut myself in a bit around that time period. I really regret it. There are so many missed opportunities, and no, I can't get those back.
Yeah, it's always the one thing when you're young. You're still learning. Your brain's still developing and functioning at a new level. Hormones. I understand completely. Would you say you're naturally more introverted then? Is that a fair assessment?
It's
Or ambivert now?
it's kind of hard to. I feel like I would definitely say ambivert now, but like at the time, I was introverted, but I'm not sure how much of that was just a natural state that I found myself in, or one that I kind of pushed myself in just because it was easier.
What would you say is the biggest thing about communication you've learned? You talked about maybe not calling your friends as much. You mentioned earlier when everything was getting all rowdy in your personal life, couldn't call your parents. What does communication now mean to you? Could say than maybe 10 years ago, or uh, let's say 8 years ago when you were in high school. Let's say.
Definitely means even if I'm not just like even if I'm like worried, even if I'm nervous, but like also even if I'm just kind of unsure if whatever situation I'll particularly enjoy, at the very least trying it. Like, I think I put this. Um, just it's like back in high school, I really limited to myself to like my pre-established friend groups and did not really take chances with other people, which I do wish I hadn't done, even though I'm not exactly sure how it would have gone. But like, if I had followed that line of thought through to high school, I really would not like be in as good a position as I am today. I would not have built that little community around myself. Or I guess ingrained myself in a community that I can get that support from. It would just be my handful of friends that I have. And basically, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. Complete, I can tell it's learning. It's understanding the process of communication, the art of communicating with friends, the art of communicating with new people. Would you say you struggle a little bit, maybe more with, or not struggle, or just still learning the ropes of talking to strangers or somebody you first met, trying to get in that uncomfortable zone to be comfortable? Is that one of the things you're trying to work on?
I'd say to a degree, yeah. I think it's probably where I've done the most work at the very least is trying to make myself comfortable, even in circumstances where I wouldn't otherwise be.
Gotcha. No, it's work in progress for sure. We'll go back to the league now. Obviously, we know you've got the old silver, you got the old gold wrapped around you. Do you have a bronze? I think you have a bronze as well. Or,
No, I actually
or two silvers.
I have yeah, I had just gold and silver, and then when I was T3, I was in the third place
Close,
matches. Like
close, right?
if I do it, I could get all three, but then I lost to yeah.
Right. What would you say is the hardest part of making a deep run in this league? Because under league, listen, I know you're in under leagues, Mitts. I think that's the only under league you're in. There's not many Uno
Myth
leagues
is,
out there. And Myth is the
yeah,
other big one.
Myth is the only other one I'm in.
What would you say the difference is between, let's say, a Myth league compared to this league I'm making? Because that league we know for sure. No stream games. There's no media. There's no press questions. This league. There's a full works package. How do you balance that also while trying to make a big league run?
I mean, just outright between the two, there's different card starts, power plays are a thing, whole just different rules. So the experience of making a deep run in both of them is completely different. I feel like in Myths, it's slightly more luck dependent, but you can definitely, if you are skilled enough, still make a deep run there. But here, I do think it is, you have to like use all of the resources you have available to be able to make those deep runs, because if you don't, your opponent will.
That's it. If you don't go out there and take the gap and the opportunity, someone's going to walk through that door and say, "Yeah, sign me up." And that's the problem. The problem is, as we said earlier, it's good. It's a good, as you said, great, healthy competition. The problem is if you underestimate somebody at the slightest of moments, it's over. And Luke said it best. In D1, you got to be at 100% every play. Maybe in D2, you can take a night off, 50%, still win game. You can't. 100% every play. Maybe the back straggler, one or two people are having a bad season, lost a little confidence. Okay. Maybe a couple plays, 95%. But that's the lowest you can go. Everything else, if it's not 100 max full beans, you might as well go home. And you might go home and lose it in a big way. So keep that in mind anytime you make a big play, for sure. Well, Gold, obviously, one thing I always have to ask is, where'd you get that profile? A lot of people, the first time we interviewed you, I think you did explain it, but to the fans at home, where'd you get that profile? I like it. It has that sunset vibe, right? It reminds me a lot of the summer. Thoughts on this profile? Where'd you get that? Did someone create that for you? Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a secret Santa art exchange, and I feel like I got really lucky with this. Like, it was, it could have been anything. Like I was like, you can make anything. Like I didn't have any specific like requests, and they went out and they made this wonderful PFP, and I've been using it pretty much ever since. Like around the time I had just made a new PFP for myself. I had been using it for like maybe 2 weeks tops, and I get this, it's like, okay, well, this is awesome. I'm using this as my PFP. Yeah, I've got it credited in my I think it's my about me. It's the top line. It's PFP by QWERTY. It's not like is QYWEIROTP. It's a name, but they did incredible work on this.
Interesting. Now, have you always been interested in art? Do you maybe visit a museum in your local area when you can?
I don't know if there's much in like the local area, I'd say, but I do. Like I don't think of myself like as an artist per se, but I do enjoy, at the very least, drawing, even if it's not like great. I just enjoy it. It's a nice way to just put thought to paper.
Yeah, respect the creativity, respect the grind of what those people do. Let's go back to Art. He's been waiting a while. Let's give him another question. Art, go ahead, buddy. What you got?
All right, Gold. Now I want to ask, what are the biggest mentors that have helped you in your life?
Probably, I want to say my parents, of course. When I say that I called someone I trusted and got their opinion on whether or not I should drop a class, they're definitely up there. I'd say also probably my best friend. all of them good case for just the help they've done.
Shout out to them. Shout out to your rents, of course. That's the most important thing, all right? Family and friends, good support cast, good community. We always talk about it in movies. Gotta always have a good support cast to make the film go around. Well, just like this, you have a good support cast to make the film go around. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as they always say. Well, go a couple more questions, then we're gonna do a little this or that. I always ask this to my guests here, and just the overall perspective of your area in the world. What's Illinois like? We actually had Mac get interviewed. He's from Illinois, ironically. Peter's been on the interview train. We're going to try to get him soon. What's Illinois like in your area? But what's the difference between Illinois, your home life, versus Illinois maybe in your college life if you moved a little away from home to college?
Illinois home life, it's kind of a suburban life for me. I don't live in the Chicago area. I also don't live in like middle of nowhere, because that's at least on a map. That's kind of what it feels like. You've got Chicago, you got the suburbs of Chicago, and then you've got middle of nowhere. But I live in one of the cities that do pop up just all around central Illinois. It's relatively tame, I'd say. It's quite nice though. As for college, I'd say it's definitely a lot busier here than it is back home. I feel like it's at least tested my driving abilities, if nothing else.
So what's the gotta add? What's your favorite home cooked meal then? Maybe your home cooked meal or favorite meal in the area? What do you got?
Meals cooked from home. There's a lot of good ones. I don't think this particularly classifies as a meal, but my dad has a good peppermint Oreo cheesecake recipe that is just delicious. I
That
love it a
counts.
lot.
That counts. Dessert counts.
It's
Always
so
counted,
good.
Art.
As for in the area, there's a couple of good local places that I've been actually like working to just experiment more with local places. There's been a Syrian restaurant in town here that I've been really liking recently.
You said seaweed?
A Syrian.
Oh, Syrian. Oh, okay. I thought I was going to say sushi, but okay. I know you have an apartment, right? You're off campus now from the dorms. Okay. I do remember you saying you were cooking. What are some home cooked meals you cooked yourself that you like?
I'm not actually all that good at cooking. I've been trying to get better at cooking, which is kind of why I was cooking that day. It's mainly just been Hamburger Helper so far. It's just a place to start, really. I would like to cook more, but for a place to start, Hamburger Helper works pretty well.
Gotcha. Okay. No, it makes sense. You're still learning the ropes, trying to get in the kitchen. I understand completely. Favorite place you visited in Illinois, all time, in your years of living?
There's a couple of contenders. Just there's a lot of good stuff in Chicago Planetarium. I've actually not been to the aquarium there in Chicago. I would like to. I've also back when I was learning to I guess not learning it. Back when I was getting the required hours to drive, I was going to all of the Lincoln Douglas debate sites in Illinois, and those were really cool. Just getting to be in those historical locations.
Understandable. Yeah, it's funny with those historical locations. Sometimes you go blast from the past. We always think about what's next, what's tomorrow hold. But a nice blast from the past is always it's always fun.
Mm-hmm. Especially because I was doing that because it was back when I was learning. I had my learner's permit, and my mom was with me, and it was just nice to spend that time with her.
What was the hardest part of getting your license? Was there anything? You good driver? Go the safe driver on the road, or wild? What's the story? What's some good driving stories you got?
I like to think I'm generally a pretty good driver. The one problem is that driving has a tendency to make me sleepy, which concerning when you have to drive multiple hours between home and campus.
Yeah, especially now you have to go through the middle of nowhere too to cross home, or
Uh, the options are middle of nowhere or through the city, so it just varies on the day, really.
yeah, yeah, middle of nowhere. I can see it for sure because it's just I say just silence, just straight silence. Country roads, right? Just roaming around. I can see you dozing off for sure. Now the city, interesting. That's interesting because usually the city or a busy highway. You're right. It's got to be all over the map, but definitely,
Yeah.
it definitely. Go ahead.
But you guys got to be all over the map, but
I can get you tired.
you,
Yeah, I get it.
you got only so much energy you can have.
Yeah,
So that you just gotta you gotta hold on, because you will run out of energy just if you're in the cities for long enough.
yeah, and then you have the mental energy of someone cutting you off, and Art's crazy. Bring you back in. This is funny, man. We almost are designed like cars. We have full energy. We have full battery at the start of the car trip, just like the battery in your car. If you got a hybrid or electric, or even just gas, right? Full tank, and then all of a sudden it just drains as you go through the route. As you go, it's just like our bodies, man. We're full battery, but then you get to the end of the day, you're down to the last 30 minutes, hour to go on the drive. If you're a passenger, you're falling asleep. If you're a driver, you better pull over and get a quick stop, or I don't know, maybe the passenger give you a shoulder massage. I don't know, whatever floats your boat, right?
Yeah. I think if you're, I think if you're going to the side of the road, you just take the rest of the night just to relax.
Put it.
I've done that before. I have I have pulled over on the side of the road as I get too tired and just take a nap in the backseat of my car.
Yeah, that put it in park, back seat of the car, or hit the motel/hotel, and see you tomorrow, and be refreshed. Right, hit the Z's and go from there. Well, that's always funny. Any last thing before we get to the final question, before we get to this or that? Any crazy road trips? Any crazy road trips with your buddies you've ever taken, or even across the country or out of the country if you've been outside?
Um, road trips. Uh, for road trips, I've only been inside the country. I've been outside of the country before, but for road trips specifically, it's just been probably the I guess craziest one was a 9-hour road trip to see one of my friends in southern Missouri for his birthday. That was a lot of fun. It took a lot out of me. As for going abroad, just I'm lucky enough, like with I guess part of the choir. I actually got to go to London, and that was just an absolute blast.
There you go. That's interesting. It's you go on a crazy road trip in the States, right? 9 hours, you get there. It's almost like a vacation in a sense. You get there, you're happy, you're excited, but then you realize, yeah, my battery's drying. Now, London did you get a chance to go on the London Eye? You see the changing of the guards. What were some cool London stories? Because that's a hell of a city when you can see, especially if you go on the London Eye or if you go to Buckingham Palace. What are some cool stories you have from London on the choir trip? There's a lot to unpack there for sure.
Unfortunately, we were rather busy, so we didn't get to do stuff like the London Eye, but we went to Trafalgar Square. We did go to Buckingham Palace, and I guess the funny story there is I took a nap in the Buckingham Palace lawn.
Oh, jeez.
Just right in front of the palace. So just taking a nap.
Well, I guess royalty will forgive you.
Well, they haven't gotten after me yet, so hey, it must be fine.
You're free, right? You're free. Oh god, that's funny, Art. I've been there. I've been to London, and let me tell you, you go to Buckingham Palace or any of the central squares out there in downtown London, or even just outside a little bit of the outskirts, you go to the subway system. Pfft, madness. Tourists everywhere. What time did you go? Did you go in winter or summer or fall? Spring?
This was in the summer. This was actually right around the time I joined the league. I think I got back from it and then replied to your ask
Oh,
if I wanted to join the league. It was right then.
around May. Yeah. Okay, so that was more late spring, early summer, and some. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting because that time of year the weather is about turning warmer. And one thing I know from background, I already knew this too. That out there's not a lot of good places to have AC. A lot of that area is not good with the AC for whatever reason. The infrastructure's not up to par, and a lot of people save money by not using an AC. But when you get nasty heat waves, it kills you. So going that time of year is probably the perfect time if you want to just get it before sun. Because once you get to June through really September, October, even the heat just overpowers that area, and you don't want to visit. I remember going in July, and what a time that was. That was 7 years ago now. Crazy, but
Sheesh.
yeah, that was crazy. I talked about it when I did my interview. It was insane. It was seven. We went like on a seven country tour in 15 days. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. We started in London, and then it was the World Cup of soccer was going on. So it was London versus France, and the day we left, London had lost Monday. Everyone was all depressed and whatnot. And then I remember going over on a train to France, and the moment we got to France, they had just won. Craziest scene. People were partying, looting, you name it. They were riding out of control, fires on cars. It was one of the craziest scenes, but I enjoyed the hell out of it because I knew it was rare to have been in two countries where both countries were playing at the same time, and you were going to transfer over. It's either A, you were going to stay in that winning country. If you had transferred to France, okay, it would have been a celebration. Or if England had won, you're leaving the madhouse. So we actually timed it perfectly. England lost. We went to France, and then I don't remember who the third place game was, but then we went to after France, we went to where was it? Switzerland. So that it was insane. It was I'll talk about it one day. It was one of the craziest trips I've ever done, but. With parents though. All right, well, let's get to it, Gold. Last question before we get to the this or that. Is there anything we have not learned? We usually save it to the end, but I know tonight's a little bit different. We're going to have a good this or that. What are some things we may have not learned from you that you want to express during this interview here? Go ahead.
The things you haven't learned from me that I want to express. In terms of just about me or just like my play styles? Because
anything.
There's answers.
Yeah, play style. Anything you want to share. This is your floor. Again, similar to the first question where we introduced you. Go ahead. Anything you want to share that we have not known about you. Go ahead.
Why the hell not? I've been on hormone replacement therapy for well over 16 months now. So during the whole rough times of last year, I happened to have some things fall into place. So it took action on that, and so I've been on estrogen since about May that year. So yeah.
Or did you get that? I couldn't. Did you say it again, Go? I'm sorry. You cut out there. Is your internet good?
Is my internet... am I audible?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, yeah. I've been on estrogen for 16 months now.
Oh, okay. What's that process? Yeah, go ahead.
Back during all of the stuff going on in last year, some things fell into place finally, and I acted on that, and I've been lucky. I was able to go through the process fairly quickly. It took a while for things to, well, like some effects I saw fairly quickly, but some I have, well, some I had until really recently. Like, it's been a lot, but it's been a pleasure to get to be myself.
At the end of the day, you got to know yourself, right? No, we talk about soul searching at the beginning of the show with the time management and all that, but at the same time, you got to be confidently you at the end of the day. And it starts with making those, I guess, tough decisions or hard decisions at the beginning, but then just like any process, there's going to be ups and downs. Sure, not every day is going to be the same. And when you have that final awakening, right? When you finally get now, how long is that Is it complete or does it take a while? A couple of years? I'm not familiar.
The process of like figuring myself out, I'd say it's probably complete by now. In terms of like
Okay.
the effects of hormones, there's still more things that will like happen, but I'm fairly far along the process. I will say things have probably happened for me faster than they do with most people, but yeah, still a few more things.
Hey, congratulations, buddy. At the end of the day, whatever you decide, we respect at this league, and we respect you sharing that. It's not easy to share, right? It's not easy to share those kind of things, and at the end of the day, it's all about learning. That's what this whole point of this show was. We learned about obviously your tough life with the schooling, right, from home to away from college. A little bit about your friendships with the choir. We learned about you going to London. We learned about your play styles, your unique aspects to the league. You brought 24K magic, and we respect it all because that's the whole point of these shows. It's not about, oh, well, these shows are, you did this interview before. What could you possibly bring up? But there's always something new that we may have not got you the first time. The first time around, I mean, what was that, a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago?
Yeah, that was before that was back before I started, I think.
No, it actually might have been November. We were or not November, December, because it might have been the off season because we were doing trial runs of this show. Remember, we weren't on YouTube. That was just the UG, Vapor. Who else was on there? Short. Those people of the world. They were just more, I guess, trial interviews, and we were just seeing if this was a feasible show to run on YouTube. But now this show is on YouTube, and ironically, the guy in the audience tonight's going to write a report on you, Cody Smart. So Cody Smart will have something nice to say. Good work, Cody. Appreciate it for sticking with us. Last thing here, we're going to do some this or that. It's always fun. Ard, you ready to go, buddy?
Yep.
All right, I got some good ones here for sure. All right, Gold. Well, speaking of action-packed adventures, would you prefer an action-packed adventure after explaining what you know, or a cozy night in? That might be tougher, because you kind of talked about the ambivert side. What do you got?
I guess it's kind of situational. An action-packed adventure would be a blast, but a cozy island, if I get to have that night in with the people I care about, then absolutely.
Pro, all you. What do you think?
I would go cozy night in.
So, Gold, you said action-packed, and you said cozy night in, Ard?
I said action-packed with the asterisk of if I get to like spend time
Okay.
with the people I care about, then it would probably be a cozy night in.
I got you. That's too cozy. It's tough. I can do both. I'll say cozy night in only because the weather is starting to get cooler, but knowing my life, every day's an adventure, so I guess cozy night in is fine because sometimes you need those, but every day's an adventure for the boss. All right, sweet or savory snacks. It's the old classic question. Do you like sweet or savory? I'm gonna assume sweet for you, but go ahead, Gold.
I've long been a fan of sweets, but fairly recently, I've really become a fan of savory. I don't know why. It honestly maybe it has something to do with the hormones, but just savory's been really yummy recently.
Favorite savory food or savory dessert, even if that's possible.
Uh,
couple.
There's a lot of good. There's a lot of good savory foods. Honestly, Chex Mix is really good.
Check mix? Okay. That's... Yeah, it's okay. I know what that is. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had one of them. I remember that when I was a kid. Alright, savory or sweet?
I would go savory.
Yeah, I'll make it a triple. Savory snacks are always good. The sweet, though, I say with sweets, savory snacks is good most of the time. The only thing I'll say, in the summer, I prefer the sweets because, you know, custard exists, fruits.
Oh, custard is so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in the summer I prefer the sweets, though, because I don't want to have some savory in the summer when it's 100 degrees. I'd rather go for the sweets there, or something really fruity, you know, really something nice. It's hits the spot. Custard, gelato, something like that. It's really good. Let's see here. Let's go with this is a good one. Picnic in the park or dinner at a fancy restaurant? What we got, Gold?
Honestly, probably a picnic in the park. Big fan of having the feeling of grass under me, and I don't really like dressing up all that formal if I can avoid it.
Pro?
I'll go picnic in a park. I don't think I would want to go with a fancy restaurant.
Believe me, I would really want to say picnic in the park, but people are like, "Hey, you go to these I got no choice. I'm stuck. I gotta say fancy restaurant, or those boys are gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me. I mean, shoot, I just got back from a conference, and what do you think I was doing? I was
clearly you were having picnics in the park, right?
Clearly. I'm in a business suit 90% of the time, and I'm definitely picnicking in the park, guys. You can see my mosquito bites and my bird stains all over, all that. Is that no? I get destroyed if I said picnic in the park by certain people. So I gotta go fancy restaurant. That's what I like about this segment, man. I love this segment because you always the real people come out, and also unfortunately the guys with pitchforks and torches and all the fun there as well. Anyway, this one I don't think that neither one's gonna kill here. Giant robot battle gold or a dragon duel? That's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one. I could go either way. Dragons are just they're so cool. Just the thought of them, but also like giant robots. Like hell yeah. I could go either way.
GR, giant robot. Okay. Or robots. Or some dragon breathing fire. What we got?
I'll go with the robot.
Yeah, I'm going with robots as part 3. Now, ironically, when I went to Asia, I did see not a dragon duel, but an elephant ritual, and there was it wasn't a dragon, but it was some type of mythical creature we had seen. So I technically have seen that firsthand, but it wasn't pure dragon. That would have been insane if I would have saw that. But yeah, I'll go with robot duel. Battle bots exist, right?
Oh.
Technically.
We gotta ask Lamas when we get his interview, his thoughts on. He loves battle bots. I'll have to ask him about that. I did watch that show. It is pretty fun. All right, Gold. Treehouse or underground bunker? It's only fitting since you did get a nice apocalyptic August we had there, so it's only fitting.
Bunkers are definitely more practical, I feel like, but they're also a lot more stuffy. I think I have to go with the treehouse.
Treehouse bunker?
I'm probably gonna go with the bunker.
Yeah, bunker. I'll go bunker. Yeah, I gotta go with bunker. The treehouse. Only problem with that is it's fun, believe me. But when a storm rolls through, gotta be careful. But either one I think is fun. If it's a nice day, give me the treehouse. But I'll stick with the bunker only because it's a safer option. Maybe when I was younger, I'd think about that. But as you get a little wiser. Let's see here. This is a good one. All right, go. Listen, I wish Nam was here to see this one because he loves steak. Steak or salmon? What do we think?
Oh, steak or salmon?
No
This is-
cheat. No
this is
cheating
rough.
with the salmon steaks. No cheating with that either.
This
That's
is-
you.
this
That's
is
for
rough
you now.
because
That's
my-
for you now.
This is rough because my usual go-tos are chicken and pork. So,
Oh,
I think, I think I have to lean slightly towards steak, but both of them are good.
Art.
oh, this was a tough one because I like both. But if I would go for one over the other, I go steak.
Ooh, that's tough. I've had both, but I haven't had steak in a while. I'm gonna go with the fish. I want to go with the seafood. I'll go with the salmon on that one. Probably be disrespectful too, since I've been to certain places where I've had good seafood too. Once again, they're gonna kill me again. They're gonna kill me. They'll say the right answer.
Look.
Man,
Either one was a good answer.
It is true. I've had both. This isn't like Oh, would you rather a bruschetta pizza? Or, yeah, forget it.
Get out of here with that.
This isn't Nam, man. This ain't Nam. Let's see. This is a good one. Goal, would you rather do a night ice skating or a day rollerblading?
I never really got good at ice skating. I got at least half decent at rollerblading, so I think I have to go with that.
Ard.
At the very least, it's the ones. At the very least, I have a lesser chance of falling on my ass.
That's true.
Either one, I am falling down on my backside, but I'll go with the rollerblading.
Make it a triple. Don't know how to ice skate. I've barely did any rollerblading as a kid, maybe once, and it's okay at it, but yeah, I gotta go with the rollerblading. Let's see here. Ebook or audiobook? That's an interesting one, Gold.
Ebook or audiobook? I think ebook. As much as I do enjoy an audiobook, especially if it's I guess it's not technically an audiobook, but the radio play of I Have No Mouth, I'm a Scream. I forget the author's name, but he plays like the main villain. He brings just this so much character to it. I love it. But like, as much as I love that, I do just like being able to read the words because I feel like just being able to actually read them instead of just having it listen to I'm able to actually process it a lot better.
Nah, it makes sense. Art, ebook or audio?
I'll go ebook.
Done both. Nothing beats the textbook, but I actually, I better say audio. What the hell? I mean, I speak, so I might as well say audio. Or else I'll get killed again. So audio, I'm gonna really doing myself a great job, Art, at digging myself a deeper hole with some people. That's great.
yeah.
That's great.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I always hate this segment because it's hard because there's a billion questions on the screen, and it's about finding the right ambiance and vibe with the guests. Because if this was Nam, we doing all food. If this was Monkey, we doing all ice cream. But with Gold he's Gold. What do you prefer? He, she, they, anything?
She and they. I'm fine with either.
Nah, I just say Gold, but let's just go with they. Right? Gold's got this interesting vibe, right? It's not one side or the other. It's not, Gold only likes, what is it? Just one side of the coin, right? It's hard. It's all over the board, right? It's all over the board because Gold likes choreography, right? In the sense of the arts of music, and then savory food, travel, right? Gold been around the block. They know what's going on. They've been a savvy, a connoisseur of life in a sense, going through the adventures. So it definitely is a interesting one. All right, go. How about this one? We all remember growing up as a kid playing this one, but which one do you prefer? I Spy or 20 Questions?
Oh, that's a good one. I think I have to lean towards I Spy, just because like there's a lot more opportunities to like just kind of mess around with. I feel like 20 questions. It's just like that is what it is. It's 20 questions. But with I Spy, you could actually like do stuff with that. I feel.
More creativity. Gotcha. Art 20. I Spy.
I would go for I Spy, especially for a road trip.
Oh, yeah.
Oh hell yeah! I Spy the back of the card. Absolutely.
If you ain't doing I Spy on a road trip, have you lived? That's a factual. I Spy all day. I will say though, 20 Questions. The one thing with that game that I never understood is when you get to the last question, sometimes it's, oh, you gotta make a guess, and some of the questions you can just kind of fluff them. Oh, what is blah blah blah, right? And you can almost run into a repeat sequence with with 20 I Spy. You can't. It's getting warmer. It's always a scale. It's a nice scale with that for sure. Let's see. This is a good one, Gold. You've been on those travels. Spending time with lifelong friends or meeting new travel buddies. That's a good one.
Ooh, new travel buddies are. It's wonderful being a new travel buddy, but man, I just love my friends so much. I feel like I have to go with spending time with my friends.
Hard? Travel buddies, new friends? Or travel buddies or lifelong friends, sorry.
I would go lifelong friends, really.
Oh boy, this is tough. I'm killing myself again with this, huh? Oh man, I don't know. You know what? I might have to plead the fifth on that one because if I say, I might have to, because if I say lifelong friends, that's great, right? But then again, I meet new people. It seems like every other day. So I don't know. I guess I'm the ambivert on that one. I could prefer both. I'm just gonna say both because I do the same. I do the business every day with either my buddies or new people. I have to be scalable in this path I chose, or else I'm screwed. So, yeah, I got to go both for sure. That could change though. It might have to be a triple threat once I have to start me and robots, right? Oh boy. Oh boy. How you doing, sir? Is everything okay right here? Believe me, real quick funny story. I go to these restaurants now sometimes, and I'm actually ordering on a robot. I'm not even kidding. There's no server. So I just punch in the robot and it's talking to me. And it's funny because most people would freak out. Oh, get out of here! But with me, it's like, thank you. I actually say, and then you're no problem. Thank you. Your order will be out in 5 minutes, sir. Mr. Touch. It's hilarious. It's fantastic. I get a kick out of every time. No, I enjoy it for sure. Well, this is a good one, Gold. Would you rather be telekinetic or telepathic?
I think I have to go with telekinetic. It's a lot more useful to just be able to like move stuff like that, and also I feel like I wouldn't be comfortable invading people's privacy like that.
Art?
With telepathic.
You're good.
Telekinetic.
Yeah, kinetic. I'm already telepathic when I make these ridiculous reads on the game sometimes. You know what I'm
saying? Maybe I should be telepathic. I think I could probably benefit off that,
Yeah. My buddy always joked with me, "Kay, dude, your last name is Touch, right? So you got the minus. You might as well already be telepathic anyway. So try something different." It's funny because sometimes when I read these games, people ask me privately, "You sure you don't have like some type of playbook or the script?" No, it's just years of experience, just calling the game. And listen, it's not just this sport either. I've done it when I commentate other things, racing, or even sometimes I've commentated other sports. It's the same thing. I'll know how to read the game before it even happens sometimes, but it's basically just EXP. It's not, I knew it from the start of life. It's not like at age 1, all right, I got the playbook. No, it takes years. Takes years. Let's see. We'll do 3 more. Let's see. This is an interesting one. Go. Would you rather wear socks on your eyes or gloves on your feet? That's a funny one. Gotta have a funny one in there, right?
Oh, ooh, oh. I feel like gloves on my feet would be so viscerally uncomfortable. I just can't say yes to that.
Ard.
Oh man, this one's kind of goofy, but I'll do the gloves on my feet.
Make it a triple. Yeah, socks on your. How would you be able to see? I don't know. We all have to be. Well, I guess that would neutralize the playing field for the people that are blind, right? If we all have socks on our eyes, would they be covering our eyes? Yeah, that's a loaded question.
Are they just like draped over your eyes?
Hey, teambuilding.com. Get a better question. Come on now. Teambuilding.com. By the way, that is the this or that. For those of you who don't know, I use teambuilding.com because it's really icebreakers. That's what this or that's the whole point of that is. No, get a better question. Come on now. Let's see here. And I try to go through each one category that we haven't done. So we did travel. Let's see. Here's a good one. This is for movies. All right, this is a good one. Gold. Would you rather be interested in a comedy or a horror movie?
Ooh. I guess it depends on whether it's done well or done poorly. I feel like if it's done well, ooh, it is storming like crazy outside. Ooh.
Stay safe.
Sorry.
You're good.
Yeah. Because all of a sudden I hear the rain through my headphones and I see the light. Like, ooh.
You're not liable for Mother Nature, Art. Always.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I feel like it depends on if it's done well or if it's done poorly. I feel like a well done horror movie is probably going to be really gripping, whereas a well done comedy, I'll laugh my ass off. I'll probably also laugh my ass off at a poorly done horror movie. So like I don't need a well done comedy to make me laugh. So probably the well done horror movie if I could help it.
Art?
Comedy.
Not a shock with Art. Mr. Comedy. Oh god, I don't know. This one, I'll go comedy as well, but it's not by much because I have seen horror movies before, and sometimes, funny story. I was watching a horror movie one time, and I'm not even gonna lie, I fell asleep during because it was late at night. I'm talking, and when I say late, when I mean late at night, I'm not talking 1, 2 in the morning. God no. I'm talking Gramps hours here, like 9:30, you know, and I just remember dozing off, and we got to the end of the movie. I mean, it was a long day, and I woke up and went, what? But then, ironically, the funny thing is about, I would say a month later. Usually, I watch movies more in the winter because there's not much to do.
Fair. I mean, in summer you could just go outside.
Yeah, summer.
Enjoy the nice weather.
Summer, I'm outside all the time or doing something at night or at an event. When I'm not at an event or speaking or whatever or at an engagement, I'll watch a movie in the winter like December. But I remember the same thing with a comedy. At the same 9:30, it was. I don't remember the movie. It was a long time ago, and I have good memory. But sometimes with movies, when I black out, I just don't remember. But same thing. I fell asleep. Then it was fun. This is a good one. Go. We just talked about the celestial events. So, outer space, exploring the planets, or bottom of the sea snorkeling. Interesting.
Outer space, no contest. As cool as it would be to snorkel, like I have just always loved outer space. I've just always loved outer space.
Can't be
It's just been, yeah. I just love it so much. If I got the opportunity, I would go in a heartbeat.
All right, Art, your question here. What do you think? Outer space or the snorkeling?
Outer space.
Make it a triple threat because I've done snorkeling, and I'll say this much: if you ever want to do it, Don't do it in the Gulf of Thailand. That's all. Just don't do it there. Do not do it there. It's beautiful, but when we did it, typhoon came in, so it was insane. I remember. It was about 3 days before a typhoon, or a week after before a typhoon, and the swells were just insane. I'm a pretty good swimmer, but I'm telling you, the swells were too much for me to handle. You gotta be careful in the Indian Ocean, the Gulf of Thailand, all the western parts of the world. The Pacifics, you gotta be careful out there. The typhoons are nasty, especially with the swells. So keep that in mind if you want to snorkel. Outer space, though. Follow up. First planet you would visit, not named Earth. Gold. Outer space. Which one would you visit?
Ooh, first planet I visit not named Earth.
Milky Way does count too. You want to just visit that?
Probably go with Jupiter. I know going to Saturn, seeing the rings would be pretty. I feel like I have to lean towards Jupiter. I think seeing the Great Red Spot and all the moons and everything, I think would be wonderful.
Art?
I would probably go Mercury.
Interesting. Why Mercury?
It just it would be interesting to visit something like that.
Second planet closest to the sun. I know the common answer. Okay, I want to see Mars, the red planet. Right, that's the old common answer. I'm going to be with Gold on this one. I was thinking between Jupiter and Saturn, ironically, but I like to say Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest planet, right? It's biggest in the solar system. It's the big one. Could you imagine seeing the winds on that? I mean, the wind storms, the wind fields on Jupiter would be. You have to really respect it to just understand the winds. The winds out here on Earth are nothing compared to the solar system. So keep that in mind. We'll do two more. Now, since we talked about cooking, there's always a cleanup process. Gold, would you rather wash dishes immediately, or would you rather do the floors?
Wash dishes or the floors? I feel like dishes, honestly. You get it done a bit quicker. You get that feedback quicker. But it's also just a lot easier to do it like sooner.
Definitely depends on the floor size too. Art, go ahead. Your thoughts on that one?
I go with the dishes.
Dishes. Yeah, I'll make it a triple. I will say though, it definitely depends on the floor size. Because if it's a hotel floor, what the hell? What are we doing?
Good Lord.
Full respect to the janitors, man. But if it's your own house, it's actually. I will say when you got a nice Swiffer, you got a nice Swiffer wet jet. It's actually really fun. But when you don't have that, or you don't have a nice dustpan and broom, it takes a while for sure. We got to end on something really good. This is probably the best one I've seen all day. Gold, would you rather have a giant library filled with every book ever written known to man, or a virtual reality library with infinite knowledge? This is the best one.
Oh, ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. That is a good one.
That's the best one.
The virtual library with infinite knowledge. Well, it's infinite knowledge, but also at the same time, just being able to be in the library. Just to be able to feel it, all the books, because I'm guessing it's not gonna be they're not gonna be all clean and pristine. But there's gonna be these old documents and just getting to just feel them in my hands. I feel like that should be awesome. I think I would have to go with the library, the non-virtual library.
The real library, I got you.
Just for the experience, if nothing else.
This is a tough one, buddy. You got to think on this one. I got to think on this one, too.
Well, when you think about the situations on both of those, really, I would like to actually feel the books as well. So I'll go the giant library.
This is tough because... it's funny because I live next to a library pretty much within 5 minutes. And ironically, it's crazy. I've done some crazy adventures. I've actually been in a virtual library. I took a tour on it about 2 years ago. I went on some virtual It was a workshop I did. It was for it was some event we did. I don't remember exactly because it was just a quick 1 hour thing. But I took a tour of a virtual library, and it was fun. But it's nothing like the in person, man. I got to go to the in person. I think that I will say though, if you pick the virtual reality one with every infinite knowledge, it's probably the modern choice for most kids. But there's nothing like picking up a textbook or picking up a real interaction with a security guard at the library, or maybe a bookkeeper or a librarian, right? Just talking to them. You can't beat that connection. Even if it's just talking to them, experiencing what you've been here at this library for X amount of years or security, it's fun. Now, I will say, when I do go to the library, once in a while I go down there. Very rarely nowadays, but when I do go down there once or twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, I'll go down there because a lot of the people change and turn over. I get it. But when I do go down there to check out things, it is nice to catch up with some people you haven't seen in a while. So, well, Gold, this has been a pleasure, buddy. I want to thank you. I want to thank Ard. I want to thank Cody Smart, Nam, Vapor, everybody that came in. Appreciate them taking time out of their day to talk with Gold and myself and Ard on another ProCheck. Ard, it's been a successful interview, buddy. You always get the last word, other than Gold saying goodbye. What did we learn here tonight from Gold? And sign us off, man. Go ahead.
Man, I think Gold's got us more perspective on some really unique stuff, and I'm kind of glad that also he's done a lot more things on the outside of his life, really, and it's gonna be cool to see what he does for the rest of the time that he's gonna be in Super League, and hope for the best.
Yeah. Well, Super League. Speaking of Super League, I forgot. Thanks for reminding me. Upcoming calendar. Let's talk about it. Well, we do have some games confirmed. You'll see Gold on the. Maybe we'll talk about finale of the round. We'll see. We got Monkey Gold. Will be 8:30 Eastern on Monday. But before we get to that, we'll have tomorrow a huge interview coming with Toaster Guy. That's going to be a fun one, Ard. Mainly because it's Toaster Guy. He's on the other side of the world. It's Saturday when he does the interview. Ironically, it's Friday over him for him down there in New Zealand, Crikey Land. Looking forward to that one. Then, right after the Toaster interview, we'll have the recap between Week 2 and Week 3 preview with me and you. It's scheduled for 9:30. We'll probably take a 15-minute break, then we'll get back to it. So expect that around 9:30 on Super League Live. Caesar Gone, 4 o'clock Saturday. That'll be with myself. Then Brad Lara will be with myself. That will be Sunday night, 8 o'clock prime time. VeriGold Monkey, 8:30. And then we're hoping Lara, who we're going to see, we'll try to do a Tuesday interview. That will cap off the interview. If Lara does not do an interview at 8:30 on Tuesday, we will have that confirmed, and we'll finish out the recap of the people that finished 46th through 64th in D1. We still have to do that, so that could be the Tuesday media availability. That will be at night. No idea what's going on with Acosta versus Toasty. Toasty was busy. We are expecting some type of answer with that within the next 24 hours. For myself, VeriGold, and Art, it's been a pleasure. Gold, thanks, boss, for everything, and look forward to seeing you against Monkey in Week 3. Appreciate it.
It's been an honor.
All right.